Hey kiddos, today we're going to be talking about some science vocabulary terms. Those terms are conclusion, data, hypothesis, inquiry, observe, and tools. A tool is an object that helps you to do work. Hi friends, I want to show you some tools that scientists might use. So when we think of tools, you really should think of like, how can we measure something else? Okay, so we have a measuring cup, we have a ruler, we have a scale, we have a magnifying glass so we can see things in greater detail, we have a thermometer, and then we also have a balancing scale so we can compare the weights of two different objects. So these are some tools that scientists might use to do an activity or to do an experiment or to learn more about things. So a tool is an object that we use to do science. A tool is an object that helps you to do work. Data is information you gather and write down. So here are several examples of data. As you notice, it's measuring something, it's being recorded, it's information that people have given you or that you have observed. Okay, so data does not become data until it's written down. Until it's written down, it is just information. You have to write it down for it to become data. Data is information you gather and write down. A hypothesis is a possible answer or what you try to prove is true. Hi friends, I want to talk to you about the word hypothesis. So a hypothesis is something that you think maybe is true, or it's a possible answer to a question that you're asking, but you don't know if it's true yet and you're trying to work through whether it's true or not. So one example, if you remember from the Ada Twist story, she smelled that smell and she thought it was her dad's cabbage stew. Then she figured out it wasn't true. So that was a hypothesis that she decided wasn't true. Then she thought it was the cat, and that was another hypothesis, that the smell was coming from the cat. So she had to do her experiment to see if that was true or not, and it turns out that wasn't true either. Okay, so that's what hypothesis means. Bye! A hypothesis is a possible answer or what you try to prove is true. Inquiry means asking questions and trying to figure out the answer. Hi friends, now let's talk about the word inquiry. Say inquiry. It's kind of a hard word. Say inquiry. Okay, so an inquiry is something that you ask, but you don't just ask a question, you actually try to figure out what the answer is. That is what inquiry means. You're asking a question, but you're also trying to figure out the answer too. Bye! Inquiry means asking questions and trying to figure out the answer. When you observe, you use your senses to notice what is happening. So remember, your five senses are touch, sight, hearing, smell, and taste. So when you're doing science and you're asking a question and you get to observe, that means, what does something feel like? What does it look like? What does it sound like? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? When you observe, you use your senses to notice what is happening. A conclusion is what you think or decide using evidence. Hi friends, the last word I want to talk to you guys about is the word conclusion. A conclusion is after you've done all your experiments, after you've looked at your data, after you have seen if a hypothesis is true or not, a conclusion is what you come to based on all that evidence. Okay, so a conclusion can't just be a random opinion. It has to come from evidence or your data to support that conclusion. That's it. Bye! A conclusion is what you think or decide using evidence. Okay, so now you should have a better understanding of what these science terms mean. Conclusion, data, hypothesis, inquiry, observe, and tools. These are all words that scientists use on a daily basis as they're doing their experiments and learning more about the world they live in.